Picture you're in a car. Picture you're in a car, and there are others with you in that car. Those other names of those people in that car being fear, anxiety, and passiveness. You know, oftentimes I catch myself being in that car. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm able to step on the gas pedal. I'm able to take control to go wherever I'm supposed to go. But those other voices are talking, and so I don't do anything. I could be hungry to get to a source of food, but yet I don't move. I could be longing for whatever it is that I'm in current need of that moment, but because those other voices are speaking, I don't move. The car is on, the car is running. All I have to do is to shift gears and step on the accelerator, but I don't move. It's what the pitfall of idleness is. Plagued by fear, that voice is sitting right in the passenger seat. And whatever else you may struggle with, that could be in the back seat or even the trunk. You're hearing it, you know what I mean? A verse that I like a lot is Proverbs 19:15. And it says, slothfulness cast into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. Slothfulness is just laziness. You know what I mean? I that's what I see as just laziness in terms of like you're not doing anything, and so you just sleep all day. That's why sleeping is associated with laziness, because it's like you just sleep all day, you're not doing anything, you're stagnant, you know? But I like that second line a lot. Like, an idle person will suffer hunger. And I kind of wrote some stuff down from it when I was at work today, because I was thinking a lot, you know? But I was thinking, because I'm reading this book by, I think it's Britt Morrison. And it says The Men We Need, right? So I'm reading the book and kind of just stirring. And I get back to this verse because sometimes I can be passive, like, just as the man of God I'm supposed to be. I can be passive, you know, not being able to take responsibility for things, like slow to make decisions that I should be quick to make decisions on, you know what I mean? Kind of the opposite. And I have some other verses, but I kind of wrote it out like you must make the decision. Like, idleness, you have to just choose to go. No matter if you don't know where you're going, you have to choose to go. Idleness, or an idle person, will suffer hunger. If you're hungry and you don't do anything, you don't ask for food, you don't seek out food, you don't make food, like, you're gonna grow hungry. And it sounds simple, but it can be attributed to many things that we do in life, especially as a man. Like, I was reading it, especially in terms of like humility and wanting to help others, because I think that's where I feel as though what I need to be doing is exalting and helping others, and I'm so worried about like some other thing that it can stop me from doing that. And a common thing about, like, if God wants it to happen, then it'll happen. Yes, that's true. We follow in His will, but we must be active. So, like, saying that, oh, like, it's gonna happen regardless, like, I don't have to do anything. That's like saying I'm gonna be filled, like, I'm gonna eat regardless. I don't know. You have to, like, that's saying my hunger is gonna be satisfied without me having to do nothing. That's what idleness tells you. Idleness says, just let it be. But you're going to grow hungry. I'm going to grow hungry. To think that I will be a righteous and good man without feeding onto God's word, it's an unrealistic motive. You know? I think that's something there. And I kind of wrote some other stuff. So what did I say? I said, sowing to the Spirit, sowing in our calling, doing things, those things are action-based. So, like, if you want to reap things of the Spirit, being a godly man, you have to sow things. If you want to be a helper, being someone who helps others, exalts others, like, you have to do those things in action. You can't just be idle and think those things are going to happen. I think that's the main thing. It's like, we're idle, we have idleness, but we still expect things to happen. We still expect to reach a destination towards something, without even driving the car to that place. We don't live in a mythical world where we can just teleport, although that would be nice. We have to plant seeds and water them, and then God will make them grow. I come back to that verse because that verse is insanely true in how we're supposed to. Idleness is expecting things to grow from a plant that you never planted a seed for. And an idle person will suffer hunger, and a person who doesn't plant seeds will never reap anything. It takes doing action. If you don't do anything, you will grow hungry. We often let our fear too often we let fear of an outcome dictate whether we take a step or not. When God doesn't give us the ability to know, he just asked us to go. It's like waiting on the GPS to show up, to show you where to go. But sometimes that GPS is distorted. And so you're like, well, I can't move unless I know the way. And in some terms, in some parts, yes. Like I understand that fear. But in other parts, you do know part of how to get somewhere. But still choosing not to act on it because you don't know the full plan. That's what idleness does. Or like it's like when you're desperate, when you're hungry, like you're gonna take whatever you have to fill you. But idleness tells you that you can't do anything about it. So you stay where you're at, right? In order to cross, I put out a quote I think it was a couple years ago. It says, in order to cross a bridge for a gift that awaits, we must go through trials of uncertainty. Idleness tells you don't know, so don't go. That's wrong. Like, you don't want to listen to that, because then you'll never find out what's on the other side. If that bridge is full of fog, it's full of noises on the other side that you can't decipher, and you could be scared to go and cross that bridge to see, but you gotta take some risk. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do something. You gotta do it scared, because you never know what could come on the other side of that. If you never plant seeds, how will you ever know what the harvest could be? That's the biggest thing. An idle person will suffer hunger because the idle person doesn't do anything to get filled. And you have to be careful also not to just fill yourself with anything just to be satisfied. You're hungry, yes, but you want to be hungry for the right things. It's two different pitfalls. You can be idle and not do anything and suffer hunger, but you also cannot be idle and go out and seek out food. It can be you could be having the wrong appetite. So you have to be careful there too. You don't want to go out and, okay, loud truck. You don't want to go out and satisfy yourself because you're hungry and you don't want to be idle, but you're filling yourself with the wrong thing. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But you have to just go and cross that bridge and see how it turns out to be. Ask, seek, and knock. You don't know what's going to come from things. Fear holds us back a lot. If you never ask, you will never know. If you never ask, the answer is always no. I've always said that. No matter what it takes, get up and go. Do not wait for someone else to become the person you are meant to be. You can't wait for someone else to go and do the thing that you're supposed to be doing, because then it will never get done. That's the biggest thing about idleness too, is if you think someone's going to come and feed you, an idle person will suffer hunger because you think someone's going to come and feed you, instead of going and doing action and becoming the man you're supposed to become, doing the things you're supposed to be doing, planting the seeds you're supposed to be planting, crossing that bridge that you don't know what's on the other side of. You have to be going. You have to step on the gas and go. But But instead, idleness comes, and you're saying, "Oh, well, food will come to me, or whatever I'm supposed to be doing, someone else will eventually do it. Someone else will help that person out." What if it's you? I heard in the book that like you can't wait for someone else to do something that you're meant to be doing, and that really hit me. It's because especially as someone who wants to spread positivity, who wants to exalt others, especially when someone's down. If you walk past someone that's down, that's not feeling okay, because you expect someone else to say something, bystander effect, that can't happen. Especially as a man of God, you can't do things. You can't expect another man to come out and help your family and raise your family. That's supposed to be your job. Idleness as a man, it's not like it can't be in there. We can't have that idleness in us, because that will never help us grow as a man. Never help us do the things we need to do. Will never help us lead the way we're supposed to lead. We have to go out and do. I think the last thing, it's like I have a shirt from a camp that I went to, and it says, "If not me, then who else?" If it's not me that is doing that said thing I need to be doing, then I can't expect or wait for someone else to do it. If I'm not going out to feed myself, then I can't expect someone else to come and bring me food. I can't let idleness take over. It's about knowing our greater purpose to serve others, not just for the pleasures and passions of ourselves, but in humility, we have to always think, if someone else's life not worth more than mine. Humility. I think about that a lot in terms of like, okay, hey, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I doing things that are counting others more significant than me? You know? But idleness is a dangerous thing. I encourage you just to keep driving. Cross that bridge of uncertainty. Plant those seeds. Step on the gas, even though the map is distorted. Those things are still actions, which is better than sitting where you're at, sitting in the car, and suffering hunger because you're just letting the car run. You're wasting gas too, and gas prices are high. Okay, you got to go somewhere. So I hope this encourages you. If you're a man out there, don't let idleness take you over, because it's really big. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of what the outcome would be when you're not supposed to know. You're just supposed to go. Have a good day. Happy Easter.